there's something there's something wrong. There's something wrong with what they're doing to Diddy. I never thought I'd be such an adherent, though I'm not really an adherent, but I'm thinking, come on, man, leave him alone. What is going on with him? What why this focus on him? Now I know nobody cares about Diddy. I know nobody. He's not the type of person that in any way inspires any type of shame or well, he doesn't have any shame. Why should he? But Sean Diddy Combs, as we call him, there's something wrong with this. He's learning now in real time what it means to be a high profile defendant in this latest thing inside the federal system. The federal system that, by the way, was never built to handle celebrity. Every rumor becomes a headline. Every whisper becomes a story. Every vague source becomes a report. And every time we're seeing it, it's never saying it fails. The latest example is this alcohol allegations at Fort Dix. This is a claim that spread last through entertainment media, even though officials at the prison had no record of it, and his own team has denied it without hesitation. They don't know what the hell you're talking about. Now, the whole episode says more about the culture, really around the culture around him, than it does about Sean Diddy or Combs himself. In the federal world, rumors stick because people want them to stick. A celebrity inside a low security camp, so to speak, draws attention the same way something shiny draws stares from a crowd. Inmates talk, officers talk, contractors talk. By the time a story reaches a website, it's already been stretched and distorted into every possible way there is into something that's unrecognizable. And you saw that pattern in the alcohol claim. Again, this is Diddy. I mean, they're going after him for now everything because he mocked them. He made them look like fools. What's interesting to note is that the allegation was simple enough. Someone said that Sean Diddy Combs mixed sugar, Fanta soda, and apples into a homemade drink. Someone also said that he was in trouble. Someone fed that line to a reporter, and within hours it was treated like fact. Then the prison was asked about it. Officials said they had no information about any such incident, no confiscation, no write-up, no disciplinary action, nothing. His team then issued a statement saying the rumor was false, basically saying it was BS, and that Combs was basically focused on improving himself and, adjusting to a new reality. So where the hell did this come from? That tells you two things. First, the system has internal checks. If something serious happened, a record would exist. Second, Diddy understands how quickly a small story becomes a weapon. He's taken a posture of calm. He's not lashing out. He's not feeding the fire. And he's insisting that his focus is on becoming, the best version of himself. That's all he can do. He's kind of scared out of his mind, no matter how cool he was. His team emphasized that these rumors are expected when a famous person enters a controlled environment. And it goes to show you, what's TMZ and these others talking about? Where did they get these from? You may not like Diddy as a public figure. That's fine. You may dislike celebrity culture. That's fine. You may not have liked the old flash or the party persona. But inside a federal correctional institution, under that setting, none of that even matters. What matters is due process. And what matters is the truth. What happens is that what you say can be proven, not what can be whispered. What exactly did he do? When Sean Puffy Combs wrote to Judge Aaron Subramanian before sentencing that he said he was sober for the first time in 25 years. He said he was committed to hard work and change. He said he wanted to live as a peaceful person. Those words were part of his plea for leniency, but They were also a statement of intent. A statement of intent. A man who has lived with wealth and power entering a rigid environment like prison, no matter what it is, has two choices. First, resist or adapt. Now, his team says he's choosing to adapt. Okay, fine. If this allegation had been real, it would have triggered paperwork, disciplinary consequences, really serious, right off the bat, and mandatory counseling adjustments. It would have been big. None of that happened. That alone makes the rumor collapse. So where did it come from? Fanta. Where did all the specifics come from? Who came up with this idea? Federal camps have ruled against or talked about contraband alcohol. They treat it seriously. Homemade brews are usually caught during routine, rounds and that sort of thing. As officers find containers and they find fruit fermenting and plastic and all this stuff. They find the materials, and none of that was reported here. Now, while it might not be that common, it didn't happen here. And the bigger question is why this rumor cycle continues. Diddy is a lucrative figure for the gossip media, okay? Media know his name. That drives clicks. A minor claim because a headline is what's all that matters. A headline becomes a story. A story becomes an echo. It's the same cycle you saw with other celebrity inmates. A rumor at Fort Dix is not a fact. A source saying we heard is not evidence. And in the legal world, evidence is the only thing that counts. Now, Diddy's spokesperson made a very special point, worth repeating. When a famous person enters a prison, there will be exaggerated stories throughout the sentence. Some inmates may brag about proximity. Some may invent, stories or tales about to sound or pretend to be informed. Some may try to attach themselves to that fame. It's human behavior. It's predictable. That is why the prison official's statement matters. They said they had no record. Repeat, no record. In federal corrections, a denial like that is as good and as strong as it gets. This doesn't mean that Combs' situation is comfortable or easy. I understand it. A low-security camp is still a prison. No matter what they say, club fed my ass. It still strips a man down. It still limits movement. It still controls schedule and food and sleep. It still forces reflection. In that environment, small events feel big. Rumors have the power to shape morale, and Diddy has to navigate this whole bit while under the national microscope. He's also been ordered to engage in a lot of things. Mental health and substance abuse programs, critical to his getting that 15% knocked off. That means structured counseling. That means supervision. That means random checks. It is not the kind of environment. Repeat, it is not the kind of environment where a hidden alcohol operation thrives. These programs are strict and monitored. You don't risk them if your goal is early release and a clean record. So give the guy a break. And the public may not grasp how serious compliance is in federal time. A single infraction sets back progress. A contraband charge can derail program eligibility. It can extend restrictions. It can reduce privileges. Sean, Diddy, Daddy, whatever Combs knows that. Anyone in his position would know that, which is why the homemade alcohol rumor doesn't match the incentives that he now faces. If anything, this episode shows the need for discipline outside the prison walls as much as inside. See, the rush to believe the most sensational version of a story is a big flaw in modern media. It's the same flaw that fuels misinformation against the political world, like what they do with Trump. It's the same flaw that pushes narratives faster than facts. Sean Puffy Combs, his team, is asking the public to pause, to breathe, and remember that rumor doesn't equal reality. And the larger narrative remains the same. Diddy is a man serving a federal sentence. He has expressed a desire for sobriety and change. He's adjusting to a life with fewer choices and stricter boundaries. He's seeking personal growth. This is the way it is. His team is trying to shield that process from distortion. And whether you support him or not, the principle stands. A man deserves to be judged on what he did, not on what strangers claim behind a curtain. So give him space to work on himself. Give the system room to operate. Give the story time to settle. The truth will surface on its own. And I still say, no matter what anybody says, this notion that he's being charged with violation of the Mann Act is so incredibly stupid. It wasn't prostitution. He wasn't a pimp. And by the way, do all of the women who were involved in this, are they claiming to be prostitutes? Because the only way he could be guilty is if they're prostitutes. Not that he arranged them for a party, not that he arranged for them to let's say, entertain the way Hugh Hefner did it, but the way that prostitution, sex for money, transactional sex, monitored, remunerated sex, that's what we're talking about. Let me tell you something. Anytime anybody is mistreated, every one of us should stand up and say, wait a minute, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. This isn't the way it is. And that's not the case here. So remember, I don't care one way or the other. I don't know that much about Diddy. I don't know. As an American, as an officer of the court, somebody who swore to follow the edicts of the Constitution, the principles, I believe that everybody should be given exactly the benefit of the doubt. Everybody enjoys due process. Everybody, up to and including Diddy, period. Because what they did to him, and what other people they're getting away. Again, Ghislaine Maxwell, what did she do? Remember, she has had it. She gave up nobody. She never gave up anybody. She took the fall, probably made a hell of a deal in order to guarantee her own family's safety. But what is she doing? Nothing. This woman's involved with Epstein. Hundreds of women. Who knows? Minors and women. Nothing. No mention of her at all. But this guy, he gets a bunch of women who, let's say, find themselves in the position. They weren't kidnapped. They weren't thrown into a white van. They enlisted themselves. They entreated him. They begged him, let me be a part of this. They tried to slip in for a freak off. And this business about, well, they had drugs. Yes, they had drugs. And they made themselves available for drugs. The same way he never went out and took anybody or kidnapped anybody. That's it. I'm not trying to make the guy out to be a saint. Believe me, he's not. But this is enough. And TMZ's got to back off on this. You're still part of the media. You still have a certain degree of duty to make sure you speak of the truth, even if it's Diddy. That's all I want. I want fairness. And if it happened to any of you, if it happened to Freddie, if it happened to Edie, or any of you folks, I would demand the same for you. That's right, Fred. Even you. You got that? I don't care who it is. Everybody deserves to be treated fairly. Everybody deserves to fall within the rubric, under the constructs, if you will, of due process and the like. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much for this. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment. I'll have some questions for you. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Legal. This is our sister station, so to speak. Make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe. 70-80% of the people who watch our videos don't subscribe. I don't know why. It's not just me. And make sure you like and signal this particular video so that you'll be notified of live streams and new videos. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. That's all. Thanks to you watching. Thanks to my crew. Thanks to all of you. Have a wonderful and a great day. Remember, we do not believe in the flag. We believe in the Constitution. And that goes for everybody, even Diddy. Have a great and glorious day. Don't forget, Monkey's Dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Dad.